along our spiritual journey, as we start to become awake and aware, one of the greatest signs that we are becoming more aligned with life, more aligned with our soul, and more aligned with the light that we are, is that we are starting to make choices that feel a little bit scary. That sometimes we are afraid to make a choice because it's our next highest evolutionary choice. And the fear we have about making that choice is because we've never made that choice in the past. And if you look at your life and look at healthy choices you could be making but haven't made yet, if you feel a fear about making them, the fear you feel is the amount of time you've taken to avoid making that choice. And really what the fear is I'm afraid to make that choice because I know it will bring greater change into my life. And I'm still at a place in my life where change is scary. And to all of us, to every human on the planet, to some degree, change is scary. And there will be certain areas of your life where you're very good at changing and very good at adapting and flowing. And other areas of life where change can be a lot harder, or knowing what the right choice is in the moment isn't very clear, or when we're thinking about making the change, we feel a lot of hesitation or fear around it. But the hesitation and the fear is showing me, as long as it's a choice in our life that is healthy and supportive towards our bodies and other people's bodies, that this choice that I'm afraid of making is my next highest evolutionary choice, my next highest level of growth. And I think a lot of times when we think about the spiritual journey, there's a lot of maybe mysticism or thoughts around it's all about spiritual practices. That if I meditate for long enough, if I sit in a cave and sing kirtan for 18 hours a day for 6 months, if I only focus on the divine and every moment and I never forget it, then I'll become enlightened. And all those practices are helpful, but it's about finding balance with our everyday life as well. It's not about throwing away our everyday life for our spiritual practice, but our everyday life and spiritual practice start to merge and they become one. And the spiritual practice becomes, can I bring spirituality into every moment of my day? As I move through my day, can I set positive intentions? Like every time I open my door, I bless all with greater abundance and prosperity. Every time I cook food, I feed all those who are hungry with healthy, organic, healing food. Every time I turn on the sink, may greater healing, love, and grace flow to all. May every time I chop something, I chop open the heart of all of humanity. And that is one of the ways we can bring spirituality into our everyday life. Another way is as we're moving through our day, as we pass people, we could be praying for their healing. Every person you pass, you could just say in your head, may this person be healed. And as you anchor greater healing by saying that, you're not only sending healing to them, but you're sending healing also to yourself too, because every blessing or every prayer you say for another is a prayer that passes you through you first before going out to them. And so if you want something in your life, let's say you want more abundance, you want a new job, you want more community or togetherness, or you want to feel greater worth or value within yourself, what if you just prayed for that within other people? And as you prayed for that, you'd be bringing more of that energy into you that then would attract whatever experiences you wish to have in your life. And one of the ways, to take it back to what I started with, one of the ways to really start to embody your greatest power is to find the choices that are the most scariest supportive for you and for others, and to make them. And one of the ways you know you're making choices that are really helping embody more of the qualities of your soul or your light is your ego will start to freak out a little. And it will start to go, you can't make that choice, that would be weird. Oh, that you messed that up, that was so awful of you to do or to choose or to say, or you can't be more loving and kind to that person. You shouldn't tell them that you care about them or you value them or you love them. Our ego tries to keep us in a box by putting us down because it says if you continue to make choices that are a little scary to you, that take a little courage to make, you would be setting yourself free from the control of your ego. You'd be setting yourself from living in a place of comfortability where you never change, to allowing change to flow into your life and flow into you and to others through your words, actions, and how you speak. And one of the ways to bring more change into you and to free yourself from control patterns of your ego is to make choices that are a little bit scary, are a little bit frightening, but that are healthy for us. And you know you're making the right choices if your ego starts to be a little bit hard on you. And anytime you're noticing you're being hard on yourself, anytime you're hearing, oh, I'm weird, or oh, I can't do that, or oh, that would be not good for me, well, always be discerning in what's good and not good for you. Oh, but that's whatever you're hearing that's negative, or you feel like you're hearing a negative inner critic, is the ego showing you that when you were raised, anytime you stepped out of your parents' control, they would put you down. They would say things that were negative as a way of trying to keep you in line with how they operated. And so your ego takes on that same patterning of when I step out of my comfort zone and take things that aren't, and to make choices that aren't typically how I make choices. When I make choices that are my greatest well-being, when I make choices and say words that are kinder than I'm typically used to saying, when I go up to strangers and try and start a conversation and I've never done that in the past, your ego tries to keep you in line by putting you down, which is exactly what most of our parents did when we were growing up, is I can control them if they don't feel good about themselves. And whenever that comes up, it's just a time to love your ego more and say, I love you, ego. I'm going to continue to make more and more inspiring choices that will cultivate even greater levels of well-being, maturity, responsibility, integrity, love within myself. I'm going to continue to share even higher levels of sweetness, of love, of kindness to myself and to others. And anytime I hear a moment or hear something in me that feels like it's being hard on me or judging me, or it feels like it's trying to put me down, I just take it as a moment to love that part of myself who was hurt by how I was raised. And I put a hand to my heart and I say, I love you. I love the part of me that judges me. I love the part of me that says I'm weird and that what I'm doing is not okay, as a way of trying to control me. And I know the more time I take to say loving and kind words to the parts of me that are so hard on myself, the softer and softer they become by the soft love that I show them. And we learn that everything within us is an expression of God, and it remembers and acts more from its godly nature or more from its love or divinity by the love we show it and call out with it. And so if you have a feeling or thoughts that you don't particularly like, you could always say, let's say you feel anxiety, thank you, anxiety, for being here with me. Thank Thank you for anxiety, for being a master healer and teacher in my life, for teaching me how to sit with uncomfortability. Thank you, anxiety, for reminding me of the light within all my feelings. Thank you, anxiety, for bringing me to my next highest level of maturity and responsibility by me daring to sit with you, honor you, and love you for as long as you wish to be here with me. And if you talked to your anxiety like that, your anxiety would melt. And all of a sudden you would feel more lightness and openness just by how much you were willing to face, love, and honor your anxiety. And as you honored it, your anxiety would go, I have nothing left to teach this person, so I'm going to dissolve back into the light that I always was, because they have learned all that they have needed to learn from me. If you have a mind that is out of control, all you have to do, you could say, I love you mind, that would be one option. I love you thoughts, I love you fantasy, I love the parts of me that overthink, overplan. You also could say a mantra of like, thank you mind for being of the purest light. Thank you thoughts for being of the purest grace. Thank you fantasies for being of the purest divine light. And as you called more light into your mind, into your thoughts, and into your fantasies, the more your mind, your thoughts, and fantasies would reflect the light, would reflect the love that you are, and they would be, your mind would act in a way that, and your thoughts would act a way, and your fantasies would act in a way that would be more life-giving, or be in a way that uplifts you and supports you rather than brings you down. Because the more you call out the light, the more things act from a place of light. And things only act from darkness or pain or putting ourselves down when that's all that they remember, and they're coming to the surface and we're experiencing them within us because it's your innocence or your inner child saying, this is the next part of within me that needs healing. And the time you take to face and love and support this part of me that's hurt, that can only act from a place of pain, will be the time it takes for you to fully heal it. And as you love that part of you and you call more light out and you honor your feelings and you honor your mind, the more you're just going to experience the pure light of love within you that then fills you up with lots of unlimited levels of love to share with others, and we start to become the people we always dreamed of being by how much we are willing to love the parts of ourselves that act from a place of disharmony, that act from a place of pain or negativity, because any pain and negativity is just showing you how it was hurt, and it's coming to the surface to say, can you please give me the love that I wasn't shown during my upbringing, that I wasn't shown during my past. And the more you take time to love me, the more I will remember the love within me, and the less you will experience of this negative inner critic, and the more you will experience of the love that you are, of angels, or whatever higher being you imagine would be communicating to you. Or even if you just wanted to imagine like parents that are in movies or that you'd always dream of having, the more you would take time to love yourself, the more you will talk to yourself the ways and love the parts of yourself that are in the deepest pain. The quieter those voices will become, and the more you'll only talk to yourself and talk to others only from the greatest kindness, love, and respect. And one of the fastest ways to heal any negativity is just to speak to yourself and speak to that part in the opposite of whatever you're feeling.